January is a return. To the studio, to curiosity, to the simple question, what if? What if you try new material, a new surface, a new way of working? What if experimentation becomes the point, not the outcome? This month is about reimagining your creative year, reclaiming your practice and giving yourself permission to explore, play, and grow.
I'm always encouraging people to be experimental, to try new approaches.
What I want always is to be in a position where I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm always looking to bring something new in to keep that freshness happening.
When a painting speaks to me, asking me to change it up, I find one of the easiest ways to change it up is to just try new materials. And it doesn't mean necessarily using like a different brand of paint, but it might be just like using an unusual color.
I noticed that when I went to paint in the desert, I thought of a very earthy palette, and that's what I planned to bring. But when I started adding in a little bit of unexpected color, looking under the surface for hints of, vibrant pinks, for example, they're there, but you have to really learn how to look for them.
I go to the charity shop and buy random things to rip up and use as textures.
I want to take the materials that I already use, but apply them in a totally different way. There's
a couple ways to experiment. One of them is to do, almost in the spirit of an anthropologist or a sociologist, to go out into the field and do some field work. One of the easiest ways is to grab a sketchbook and maybe go on a bus and not know where the bus is taking you and just draw the back of people's heads for the entire bus drive. Another one would be to, just go into the forest and find a random tree and sit under that tree for the day and write about the tree, do drawings about the tree, and then come back and make a painting about it. Or, so you have this kind of lived experience.
I'll read articles or hear something like about micrometeorites or American trees are all moving west and no one knows why. So these little headlines that capture your imagination. So I'll use those for jumping off points.
Sometimes if I've laid a portrait down and then I give the image to my kids, I have to kind of respond to what they've done. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes it's kind of beyond being able to bring it back to a point and we just kind of have fun with it, the three of us. But it's interesting to, if I now have to respond to what somebody else has done and there's a mark that I can't necessarily erase or it doesn't fit within the way I want the image to present, I have to work around that and kind of get creative with it.
Very much in my art practice these last few years, I have a sense of welcoming the child that I was back into my art practice. That little girl who first loved to make art. She's not a bold person. She's a little timid. As I made space for her, I've also recognized that there's a little bit of freedom in watercolor for me to rebel. And I think that's really going on is I'm pushing it back against the notion that I need to fit other people's expectations. And so in my painting practice, the rebel in me will grab a crayon and do something that looks deliberately raw and unfinished, because all my life I felt pressure to excel, to be polished or perfect.
Experiments have to blow up. They have to go wrong. And that's where the happy accidents come in. That's where the aha moments come in. And so your inner critic is telling you it has to be perfect. So if you can say, no, you sit down and be quiet, I'm just gonna let whatever happens, then you're gonna come out of it with some really neat things that you didn't even think were a possibility before you started just playing around.
Huge thanks to the artists who've shared their insight and inspiration. Now it's your turn. Reimagine, experiment, and see where What If takes you. Thanks for watching.